Hey Capricorn, welcome to your December reading. It's been 1 year since I started doing my channel. How cool is that? And also Merry Christmas. So I kind of just started doing earth signs. You were my first sort of ones. How this kind of channeled through was very unique. This is a bit different to what I would normally do. And they're kind of been long videos, but I'm kind of loving it. It's kind of special. Interesting. So you're having similar, sorry, I had to just move the mic away a second so I can reach the part. Similar to Taurus in those ones. Okay, next we have the tarot cards. Okay, so no, I use these ones. So I'm just trying to remember how I did this. It's very unique. As you know, if you follow me, I just kind of go with what I'm drawn to. And it was kind of different how I'm reading this. So I may not tell you all of the cards or show you all the cards because of how this comes out. It's kind of really cool. A little bit different. I like different. Interesting. I love seeing this dynamic because I just did Taurus, so usually similar energies come out for the earth signs. And I'm definitely seeing the correlation here. Interesting. Okay. And then, so I'm just trying to move all the cards out of the way. This is taking up all of the space. And then we have 3 of these. So I'm using a lot of decks. I'm using these 3 decks behind me. And I'm also using 2 tarot decks for the main reading as well. So we're a little bit of everything, but it's really cool. Your first card is in reverse too. Nothing will come of this situation. Void of course, moon. So I had this for Taurus as well, and it's a very similar vibe. It's kind of like something that you're being very stubborn about. I feel as though it does not serve you. And this is kind of just, it's like holding on to something that's just hindering you moving forward. And I get this same sense that there's a stubbornness here that's kind of preventing you from kind of moving on to this next phase of life. And I feel as though we're all kind of going through transitions during this time, Capricorn. And there's just kind of something that you're vibing off and giving off that's just not serving you. It's like there's nothing left in this situation, yet you're still holding on to something and kind of using energy there. It's like sending energy into a void or a vacuum. You're not going to get anything good back from it. You're just wasting your energy on this. And it was that similar vibe for Taurus. It's kind of like, just stop wasting your energy on this. It's done now. It's over with. Let it be. It's that kind of same kind of vibe. Now the next card with that is beauty. Interesting. So Capricorn, what I get from this instantly, as soon as I looked at it, it was like there's beauty within this situation. I do feel like these cards all kind of connect, and it's kind of as though it's time for you to see the more brighter side in things, the more positive aspect. I do feel as though there could be something that you're negative towards. It's kind of like they're not actually what you're portraying them to be. It's more beautiful than that. It's more simple than that. But you're making it complicated. And it's kind of though you're wasting energy on holding on to this stubbornness when things are much more brighter than this kind of stubborn darkness. And this is how it's literally a contrasting cards. It's like you're in this when you could be in that. Right? There's these beautiful aspects of your life and you're choosing to focus or give it, not focus. It's not like I feel as though all your focus is on that. I just feel like it's a big main focus. It's like you're wasting your energy on things that don't matter because you're holding on to something. You're choosing to stay attached to a situation because you're being stubborn rather than choosing to let something flow and be created into something that is already there that's beautiful. That's what I'm feeling. The next one, and this again repeats this. I've got a really itchy nose. I'm really sorry. I wasn't picking. It was just itchy. It's really hot. I don't know why I chose to wear this kind of, I felt witchy. So I'm wearing a shirt. It's got really cool things, but yeah, I'm really hot. So I'm sweating a little bit. Apologize. It's like a heat wave and I chose to wear long sleeves. Whatever. don't let pride get in your way. Taurus had this too, as well as the void. So it's like you're both being way too way too serious, way too stubborn, because it is a typical Capricorn. It's a typical Taurus trait at being stubborn, and sometimes it can be in the wrong way. Sometimes it can be good and a positive, but I feel as though it's becoming a negative for you, or it is a negative within this situation. Yeah, I feel as though you really could. I get this sense of you really could be kind of as though like a knight in shining armor, but not. It's like kind of like you could be the good person in this. You could be this lion who is choosing to be, I want to say choosing to be the bigger person, but it's not like that. But that's the only way I can kind of put it into words. It's like who can shine and be this loyal lion, but instead, if you choose to be a stubborn, it's like choosing that stubbornness is going to prevent the loyalty, the goodness, that stuff that you want to really kind of be in the world, the kind of your footprint. You're kind of shadowing that footprint if you're choosing to be more stubborn. Now, I don't feel like Capricorn, all of you are like this. I feel as though like you could be one or the other. And it's like a reminder like not to let the pride get the better of you. And I feel like because it's Mars in retrograde right now, like feelings are heightened, tensions are heightened, you may be more inclined to be extra stubborn, to kind of just create drama for the sake of creating drama. And I'm not calling you out, Capricorn, but you love a little bit of drama, a little bit sometimes, especially if you feel as though you are in the right to do so, right? And I feel like check yourself, because Mars in retrograde is not the time to do that, because it may be where even if you feel right, you're not, because Mars is influencing that. It's bringing those tensions and all that. And I feel as though this sense of you acting kind of, I want to say out of character for you, like even you are, I feel like you might be seeing this, like this is not me, but yet there's this stubbornness of where you can't let go of it. So be mindful if you feel that that's kind of true and connected with you. That's what it feels. Now we have the void. Now in Taurus, I'm pretty sure here it's like there's in the reading with Taurus, it was kind of like there's this balance and you're going to let go of the void. So if you have someone with like someone that you're going through a dynamic with and they have Taurus or have Taurus in their kind of chart a lot that's influencing them, you could be being the void to them. So be wary of that, because that just is connected for me. It could be as though, you know, you're creating darkness for somebody when you really are being stubborn. There's nothing will come from this, because again, void of course, moon, which is what that says. And we now have the void. You literally have this twice. I feel as though you are wasting energy and choosing darkness, choosing kind of to be the bad guy. And this is that Mars energy of kind of being, and it's like fire fueling something. But I kind of want you to think like, all these bad thoughts and feelings within you, is this being fueled by somebody else, or are you fueling it? And I really think that's what you need to be looking at during Mars in retrograde. I feel like this applies to all signs and everybody during this time. Are you feeling this way because this is how you feel, because of how you have kind of, you know, checked in with your emotions and seen that, you know, this makes me feel this way? And then look at the other, like what it is that's doing that, whether it's a group of people, a person, and think like, are they actually doing anything to create this? Or is this kind of internal? Is this something within you? And I feel like that might help you massively, because I feel as though it's empty. There's nothing to this of substance. This is just pure pride. This is pure stubbornness that's creating the situations that you're in. So be mindful of that, Capricorn. I feel like we're all, Earth signs so far, we're getting a slap on the wrist in December. And I feel as though it's kind of, it's where we're meant to be at right now. But it's also a reality check, right? That's what I'm feeling. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So how I read this, it's kind of like brought together, so it makes sense for me. I'll just read it. In reverse, and the Magician. You're definitely creating the situation you're in. You are manifesting for yourself. So if things are going great, you're creating that. That's awesome. And I feel those aspects for you, Capricorn. But again, there is this darkness here and this negativity. And I feel like you are creating that as well. like you are manifesting both aspects in your life. And I feel as though this is something you may feel like you can balance. You feel as though it's your right to be there. And this could perhaps be what's toxic for yourself right now in your life, right? So be mindful of that. Eight of Pentacles. I feel as though and I wouldn't normally say this, I feel as though research is not your friend. I feel like the more you look into something, the more you explore something, the worse your feelings get. Like the worse that it makes you, and this is fueling, and this is, I feel like, actually of why it feels as though you're fueling your own kind of moods, your own attitude, like it's you fueling it by kind of where you're looking, where you're seeking for answers. You're just fueling something which shouldn't be fueled. So I want you to realize again, you're the magician. You're creating your situations right now. So anything that's going great for you, awesome. But I feel as though you can do that with all that you have already. You don't need more. So in the terms of this Eight of Pentacles, where if it was in the upright position, I would actually feel as though, it's in your best favor to learn and study something new, to kind of look into something. I feel like, no, you have everything you need already. You don't need anything else. And this magician is giving me sad vibes. Look at him. Now these cards kind of, and there's a reason why I chose these cards, clearly they read to me how they need to be read. And I feel like this really is, with this thing, I don't feel like you're 100% happy with what you're creating. And I do feel like the key here is within you and the attitude on how you are. Now the crossing energy with this, which is crossing energy to the two bottom cards too, I will read it as it comes. You have the Tower card. Now, when the Tower card comes up, it's like, no, we don't want that. See, Taurus had Tower card too, but it was different. Where yours is positioned, it really is like you're manifesting a breakdown of something, which is what you need exactly. Like, I feel as though we're all getting these Tower card moments. Society is getting Tower card moments. Like governments, people are stepping down. Things are being really kind of shaken lately and changed and manipulated into the way that things need to change. Change is needed. There are people at the moment being murdered for who they are, for being female, for not applying the rules in the way that somebody says it should be. No. Uranus is retrograding. No, it's not. Uranus is in Taurus. We are all about being independent and finding our values and living by our true values. So look at what's happening in the world right now. People are literally dying for their true values because they don't believe that we should be suppressed by governments. We don't believe that somebody, a partner, has a right to tell us how to live. We don't believe that a partner has a right to tell us that, no, we can't look a certain way. No, we can't spend the money that way. And that kind of thing. Like, we're all getting out that. They're just really stupid examples. What I'm saying is that's what time is doing to us right now. These are the Tower card moments. And I feel like for you, this is... you are creating a Tower card moment for yourself. Which is really great because it means you're breaking down things to the foundations where you can literally build something. So it sounds scary, it sounds horrific, and it makes it sound like you're the bad person, Capricorn, but you're not. That's not what I'm saying here, so I hope it doesn't come across like that. But what I feel is when I say that is I mean that if you're creating that, then you really can go anywhere with this. You really can build something really great for yourself. But you need to look at those situations. Now, the second thing I'm drawn to is the eye in the clouds. Now, eyes signify seeing clearly, visioning, trusting your instincts. But it's kind of like with the clouds, I feel like you need to be more creative and stop taking things so literally, so seriously. I feel like that's your downfall of what's breaking things down, is that you are not seeing things... I want to say, because it's kind of like in an imaginative way, I feel like you're seeing things in a very critical way. That's what I mean by imaginative. I feel like you can be really logical and critical. And I feel like this is saying you need to see things clearly in a much more kind of, in a different way. Now, as I say this, what kind of comes to mind, like if there's a person surrounding this situation that this could be involving, whether it be a workplace, a boss, or a partner, ex-partner, a person, a parent, anyone, just a being or a type of institution that's affecting you, that thinks in a way that's much more creative, much more imaginative, more spiritual even maybe, when I say this, because it's like the opposite to how you are thinking. If you are literally have that is the opposition of what you're going through, you need to kind of get on their way of thinking and their kind of realizing what their part in that situation is. I feel like looking at it from that way softens your heart to make you realize that I want to say like makes it realize that here of why you are the problem. I don't think you're the problem, but that's how I'm going to say it for you to understand what I'm feeling. So I'm not calling you a problem, Capricorn, but what I'm saying is like here, there's a darkness here, and I feel like you are the kind of leader to that. So I don't want you to say that critically because that is not productive, but it's how it's coming through. Now, where this is going, this kind of energy where you want to be heading towards, moving on from that, of this tower moment, because that's the crossing energy here too. You have the Fool in reverse, and you have the Four of Swords. I definitely feel like it's the total opposite of what you're doing, of what you think you need to be doing. Now the Fool, it is in reverse. I feel as though stop taking risks and kind of, I want to say that you're taking irresponsible, like being reckless. It's not a time to be reckless. It's a time to be thoughtful. It's a time to be kind of going within. Now these are the two cards you've got. You've got the Fool. Now upright, it would be about taking risks, jumping in, enjoying life. You might not know where you're going. It's kind of stop taking risks. Stop being reckless and thoughtless. So time for you to be the little Four of Swords. Put down your armor, put down the swords. It's time for you to reflect on where you want to be and who you want to be and what you're doing, what you're creating, and the why. It's time for you to actually be by yourself to realize that. And I actually feel like when I said be by yourself, it's like stop seeking validation from external. Stop expecting other people to answer things for you because it's all within you. This whole reading, even for Taurus, for you, and I feel like for everyone I'm reading right now, it's you need to realize something in yourself. There's something in there that's the key that will help you move forward. Now, next column, we have the Justice card. It's in reverse. Literally where you are in this moment, I feel as though it's an energy that's not working for you, and I feel like you are sticking needles in your own eye. I say that because very literal here. Now Taurus had this upright, and it was kind of like some sadness. I feel as though it's the opposite here, that you are, again, it's like sticking needles in your eye. It's like what they say to people who are kind of lying or fibbing and conning, and I would say this feels very much like you're in that situation. And again, I want to say you're not a bad person, Capricorn, but we do need to realize like what is creating our situations we're in, right? And I feel as though if you're trying to go through something where you're trying to come on the upper hand, I feel as though it might not work out in your favor. But I do think you'll get your own way a little bit with something, or you'll feel a little sense of, no, I'm going to scrap that completely. I've just kind of went within to kind of really feel that vibe. And I feel a loss for you. And it's not just as in you'll lose something. I feel as though just this sadness and this grief of it didn't go where you wanted it to go. And this is really what I kind of feel, this need for you to really let go of something, to kind of drop your guard of something and stop being so reckless, because I feel here this sadness of heaviness of you coming to that realization of you getting your own justice. And again, it just feels as though more realizations. So you need to nurture yourself and take care of what it is that's going to make you feel that way, to make sure that, you know, you're taking care of yourself. Six of Wands in reverse. Again, I feel as though things that you're not going to get your win. It will not be victorious for you. So prepare for that. goes to the Two of Wands. So I feel as though your decisions you're making are not coming from this wise place. Now, it's the same as the Fool in reverse. It's like stop being reckless and kind of be a little bit more smarter. I do feel like you're trying very much to live it, like to make your decision based very critical, very straightforward, and that's not working for you because you need to be more wiser here. And when I say wise people are not critical. Wise people observe. And they know, like if you think of a wise person, like a crone or a healer, like they are wise. They just know things. They know what to say and they know what to do. They don't act impulsively. They don't feel things that they shouldn't feel because they know it's wiser to realize that we're all human, to realize that we make mistakes, and to realize that sometimes people don't act the way that we expect them to because they're human. And I feel like here, this is a moment of you realizing that, I guess, that the way you are thinking is harsh. And I feel like this is of yourself too. So I want you to really kind of nurture yourself. I feel like if I had my Archangel Michael cards out, we would have realized that you are vulnerable, nurture yourself, and understand that you're doing the best that you can. I want to kind of add that in there because I feel like this is quite harsh reality here for you, Capricorn. And we're all kind of getting that at this time. We have Mercury in retrograde literally over the New Year period, and that's going to bring shiz up for you. And this is what I'm feeling like this for both Taurus and you. It's like all this pent up thing of voidness that does not need to be there anymore. It needs releasing. And I feel like that within these losses, within these grievances, it's bringing you to a new level of understanding. But it comes with a realizing that there's these tower moments of what that means, like why you got that moment. Two of Wands in reverse. I feel like, yeah, I get this sense of a breakup, of something coming to an end, and it's like soulmates drifting apart. I would say this very much looks like a divorce kind of thing. We have the Justice in reverse. It's like going through legal things. I can literally see that in there, and it's funny because I am going through the same with the Capricorn, and I could literally read this all to him in this very way. I guess it makes massive sense. And it feels as though, like, you know, it's like the soulmate. If it was upright, I'd say, you know, you're coming together and connecting with a soulmate, and it's like it's leaving you. And I do get this sense of sadness. Now, we have a little bit more brightness over here because we have the King of Wands and we have the Lovers. Two cards came out for you in this position. I feel like this is future-based, which means there is unites. And I feel like if you shift your focus and, you know, become this King of Wands, then that's you being wise. That's the wise owl here. He's got a little bird on his shoulder who helps guide him in the way that's kind of a good way. The King of Wands knows where he's going. He's got all these kind of tools. He knows how to use them. He doesn't rely on other people. It's like he is the leader that he needs to be. And I feel like this is where you're going to be at, where you could be at. And the Lovers is a card that signifies, you know, love and harmony, of union, of coming together. And I feel like that's what you're craving. That's where you want to be. So realize that all of this that you're going through is leading you to that. So when I say there's breakup here, this is saying, hey, it doesn't matter because when you let go of something, you're open to receiving something else, right? It's kind of like when you close one door, open another door opens, or whatever the saying is. And that's what this feels like here. It's like it's not all end all just because something has come to an end. We next have the Ten of Cups, which again is union and family and happiness and all that we are craving, all that good stuff. It's right there. It's prosperity. So it's kind of like, even though you've got these moments here where it feels like sadness and down times, this is the complete opposite. It's family times. It's coming together. It's union. And I do get this sense of maybe you coming into a place where things could be better. Again, if there is divorce, it could signify that there may be a more peaceful side of things in future, in the long run. I have to say, personally, I hope that ever becomes a place, but I've always had that from the very start. And I let go of that kind of notion pretty quickly after bad stuff. But this is sort of showing me that things can be good still. So good times. Contentment is also what the Ten of Cups means. which is totally really good compared to. So these last 3 cards is the Astral Realms deck. I have never actually used these other than one quick read when I first got them, so I probably should use them a little bit more in my videos. They're pretty cool. So crystals which could be handy for you right now. Capricorn is black tourmaline, malachite, and turquoise. Totally makes sense. So regeneration. It's time for you to start again, kind of rebuild things up and create something that's really great for yourself. Again, that means letting go of the old, releasing your stubbornness. Now, with black tourmaline, it can be kind of like onyx is what I want to say. It's why I wear onyx on my ring finger. It's kind of about, it's all about grief and loss. And I feel like for you, this is what this is. It's kind of regenerating, rebuilding from that grief and loss of something. Yeah, and I feel like this could be really beneficial for you to have on your person. And I feel like you are walking through a door as well with this. You really are coming onto something new for yourself. Perseverance. Keep going. So that's turquoise. I think that was last, but that's turquoise. Perseverance. Keep going. And again, we have a kind of tower. It's about rebuilding for you during this time. You really are building something new. And moving away from the old and onto something new is what's in your best interest. Pluto. So we have Uranus here, which have Uranus in Taurus. It's all about independence. It's all about kind of sticking by our values. Now we have, I don't know what eudaimonia means. I really should probably read what that means. But I really feel as though it's about getting your freedom, your independence, living your life which is kind of in alignment with you. I feel as though you're walking towards this. You just need to kind of keep going. And I do feel like with this tower, like the reading was pretty heavy for you, Capricorn. And I won't lie, it kind of was pointing fingers at you throughout this, because it's saying, you know, you need to check in more. I feel like as though it's like detaching and going to a depressed state. We kind of run on autopilot, and sometimes when we allow the darkness to kind of be in, you know, living our shadows rather than allowing the balance to come in and accept our shadows and realize they're not weaknesses and that kind of thing. When we are living in the shadow side of things and just on autopilot, we make wrong choices. We be impulsive, we take bad risks, we treat people poorly, and we only think about number one. Now, when we realize that that's what we've been living in, and that moment breaks down and we have all that grief because you grieve what you've lost in yourself. I personally have done that myself this year. I have grieved the loss of myself. I've grieved the kind of rebirth of the new me. And I feel like that's what this is for you. But it takes that perseverance. It takes that moment of you thinking like, hey, I'm strong enough. Keep pushing forward, because these moments in your life are turning points, because what's on the other side of these moments is always better. It's always bigger, but you have to stand up and move them friggin' feet, right? So thank you, Capricorn, for being here. Please like and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date. I am thinking about doing more Christmas bonuses if I get the time. I am a single mom, so we work with what we got. But thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you next month.